Good afternoon. How is everyone? I hope everyone has had a fantastic week. It's certainly been an interesting one for me, as always. Today, I just wanted to share some thoughts just from some of the discussions and experiences I've had recently with some of my clients. In particular, in respect of the pressures that business owners are under. Now, no doubt, obviously, as a result of the pandemic, a lot of businesses have felt the pressure whilst during the main part of the pandemic. Obviously, we're not out of it yet, but in terms of when a lot of businesses were shut and they didn't know which way to turn, a lot of businesses I know didn't necessarily have the cash in the bank to be able, they were really struggling in terms of that. They needed the additional support that I know some businesses had from the government. Not everybody did. But we're all now trying to come out the other side of this. And I know that from speaking to my clients and when I've been out networking, that businesses there are some that are thriving, which is fantastic, but there are some that are struggling to balance everything. And I really wanted to kind of find out from you guys, what are your ways in which you deal with the stress when you're running a business? How do you actually prioritize? So to give you an example, I am aware of a particular business that at this moment in time, one of the biggest pressures they've got is cash flow. And I think that's a lot for a lot of businesses. I know that, from running the law firm, cash flow, for it, like I say, any business, cash flow is king. Ultimately, you need the cash in the bank to be able to function. And sometimes what you do is you make decisions that aren't in the best interest of the business because it's the only way in which you can foresee actually getting cash into the bank. And I'm kind of thinking about that, and I'm thinking, well, hang on a second, is that necessarily the best thing to do? Yes, it obviously plugs a hole, but can it then cause additional pressure in other directions, which then actually ultimately causes more stress? Sometimes it's better to take a step back and actually look at the bigger picture and think, hang on a second, actually, is it worth taking on this particular job or dealing with this particular client? Because actually, is it going to cause more difficulties in the long run for the business than actually it will solve? And I think sometimes as a business owner, when you are under pressure, that you sometimes don't always necessarily make the best decisions because you are in a state of mind which is the pressured state. It's in a negative state, and you can only see what is right in front of you rather than necessarily looking at the bigger picture. And for me, one of the key things that I would say is the mindset is even more important when you're in those situations. You need to have your mindset on point that, you can look at the bigger picture, that you do have the network around you in which you can have conversations so that people who aren't necessarily right in the center of all the pressure in which you're feeling can look at things objectively and can actually guide you so that you make the right decisions for your business. Because I think it's so easy to get yourself, because you're in the center of it all, right? When it's your business, it's your baby, and sometimes you just can't see the wood for the trees. I know, I've been there, I've done that, I've got the t-shirt well and truly, and I've been fortunate that over the years I've had people who have sometimes sat down with me and they've expressed a view. Now, nature of certainly what my personality has been like is sometimes I didn't always listen. I kind of let them speak, but didn't necessarily really take on board what they're saying to me. Now, it's difficult because you need to make sure that you listen to the right people, because there will be people like, one of my favorite books is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And one of the things that Richard Kiyosaki talks about is the rat race, and that a lot of people are in the rat race. The education system he's taught us that the best way is get a good education, go and get a job, then you can get your house, car, whatever, etc. And actually, and I really do believe this, is ultimately, in my view, going to get a job is no more secure than being a business owner. If anything, I think actually being a business owner can be more secure on the basis that in a job, you are only one paycheck away from being redundant, right? So this is where, obviously, if you are listening to the people who are in the rat race, and their view is the best thing you can do is go and get a job, then they're not going to be necessarily the best people to listen to in relation to your business, because they don't, in the nicest possible way, they don't understand. They're not necessarily in the world of business. So sometimes they may well come up with a useful perspective. I'm not saying that you should just ignore them completely, but I think it's so important to surround yourself with like-minded individuals, people who are also business owners. Doesn't necessarily need to be in the same industry as you, but also people who are ambitious, people who actually understand you as a person and that they can support you. This is why I talk so much about having the key advisors, by having your business coach / consultant, by having your accountant, by having your lawyer, because they will provide a useful perspective. But I also think it's so important that you are talking to other business owners, because every business pretty much goes through the same challenges. It doesn't matter what industry you are in. There will be some challenges that are industry specific, of course, but as a general principle, every business has the same challenges. Things like cash flow, things like staff, things like getting the leads in, getting your sales process right, getting your credit control process right. All of these things are the same thing, and every business goes through the same challenges. Okay, so by being part of organizations that, say, for example, whether it's Facebook groups or networking groups or whatever it may be, but being a part of a group can really make a difference, because ultimately you then have other people who are effectively in the same boat as you, in the sense of they're going through the same challenges that you may be, or they've been through the same challenges you're facing right now, and that they can then provide you the support. For example, I'm on a coaching program, and it's called the $1 Million Sprint. So I'm kind of doing a bit of a shout out to Richard Woods. Richard was brilliant. He's really helped me with growing my business. But also what is great is it's not just about him, it's about the people that are within the group, who are all in very different levels in terms of their business and their experience. But we all learn from one another, and we all support one another. And this, I think, for me has been fantastic, because I'm associating myself with other business owners, and I'm providing them with support and guidance in whatever way that I possibly can. And in the same way that they like, and they support me. And actually, it makes a massive difference, because sometimes you just have this question that you want to be to some guidance on, and you just need an external perspective. And being part of that type of group is, for me, is amazing. And that's part of the reason why I created the Facebook group SLJ Business Network, because ultimately what I actually want is for people to feel a part of a business community. I want them to feel like that they can get the guidance and they can get the support, and that there's no pressure or anything like that. It's just about being in an environment where you can ask the questions without feeling like you're asking a daft question, that you can get the support and lean on people, and for me, ultimately, yes, even if we're in similar industries, yes, you can have healthy competition, but it doesn't necessarily need to be in a kind of derogatory or negative way. I think you can have competition which is in a positive way. And I still think you can even be supporting people who are in your same industry. So I guess what I'm trying to say to those business owners that are out there right now, if you are feeling like you are on your own, you're not. There is organisations and people out there who can help you, who can provide you with support, who you can lean on for guidance. For example, you're more than obviously welcome to join the SLJ Business Network. I will put a link after I've finished in terms of so you can join. But it's also just about joining groups and organisations that you click with. So there are some organisations that you'll click with and others that you don't. I can remember when I was practicing as a lawyer and I was going out networking, and there were certain groups where I just didn't feel like I fit in, which is where, if you've read my article about feeling trapped, for example, there was an example where I had gone to a networking event in Cambridge and I didn't feel like I fitted in at all. Whereas there is an organisation that I was a part of and I'm going to join again, which is Networking Essex. So I'm doing a kind of a bit of a shout out for people here today. And Networking Essex, I never ever felt like I didn't fit in. I was welcomed with open arms. There was no sexism, there was no ageism. It was a case of we're all there to try and help each other and to gain business and network. And that's what it should be all about. So all I would say is, even if you go looking for an organisation that you can get the support from, don't be put off if the first one that you come across doesn't suit you, because there will be organisations out there that will suit you. Just keep looking. Ultimately, I'm a firm believer that we should be supporting one another. It doesn't matter in what context, whether it's a case of a community in terms of neighbours and as individuals, or whether it's in respect of business and as business owners that we come together as a community. Ultimately, we should support one another. And this is what I'm trying to encourage people to do, because we are all, as business owners, we do go through those same challenges. And there are people who have been through challenges that you may be facing right now, and that you can then actually ask for their guidance and how they've come through the other side of it. So please do take on board what I'm saying. You're not alone as a business owner. It may feel incredibly lonely, but there are avenues in which you can go where you can get that support. SLJ Business Network is a starting point. Obviously, even having having a business consultant or coach on board is also another way of having somebody that's a sounding board, that when things aren't going quite in the direction you want them to, you've got somebody that you can talk to. You're not alone. There are ways in which you can get the support that you need. So make sure that you go and look for them. I will put, as I said, the link for the SLJ Business Network. I welcome as many of you as possible into the group. I really feel like you'll get benefit from it. It's gradually building. We're getting more and more engagement within the group. And ultimately, it's all about you. The whole point of why I have it isn't just about me putting content in there. It's also about you, all of you who are members, who also can put comments, who can also share perspectives, who can ask questions. And that for me is one of the most fundamental parts of the SLJ Business Network. It is about you. And this is another reason why I also do the Business Growth Forum every week, because ultimately I want to help business owners, and it's my way of giving back. It's my way of doing something of value so that you guys can get support, and you can ask the questions that you want to ask or you need to ask. So the one thing I want to share with you guys is I'm here to support, I'm here to help you, and I am here to try and help you grow your business. Ultimately, SLJ Consultancy, the tagline says it all: helping businesses thrive, not just survive. And there are so many different ways in which I can do that. I know I'm already making a difference with my existing clients, and I want to help as many of you as I possibly can. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you've got some benefit. You're not alone as a business owner. I would love to hear any comments in respect of this, if you're watching the replay, please put #replay, as it's great for me to know who's actually watching these videos back. I will put the link in for the SLJ Business Network. And like I say, if you want to reach out, if you are struggling at this moment in time, you're not sure which direction to go, then please do reach out to me. You know, you can send me a direct message. You can obviously just put a comment, you know, just put DM or something in the comment box and I will contact you. Ultimately, I do what I do because I want to help businesses. I want to help businesses become more efficient and more effective and therefore more profitable. It gives you, the business owner, the freedom that you want to be able to live the life that you want. So thank you everyone for listening. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend, and I will be back hopefully I'm hoping to do a few more lives during the course of next week. I'm not doing them necessarily every day now. Apparently Facebook has changed its algorithm and it likes a variety of different content. So keep an eye out. There is going to be more blogs or articles coming out. There'll be more posts. So do keep an eye out and make sure that you join the SLJ Business Network. So thanks for listening and take care, everyone.